broadcasting live from our flagship studio in Atlanta, Georgia. This is Scaling in Public, the next 100 business Radio X markets. Featuring founders Lee Kantor and Stone Payton, along with some of America's top coaches, helping them grow the network with real strategy, real lessons, and real accountability, all shared in public. To learn more about the proven system that turns podcast interviews into a perpetual prospecting pipeline through generosity, not gimmicks, go to brxhq.com and download the free Business Radio X playbook. Now, here's your host.
Welcome to another exciting and informative edition of Scaling in Public. Stone Payton, Lee Kantor here with you. Now join us as we're a couple of minutes in with Coach Gabrielle Baumeyer, helping us identify our desired outcomes for this session.
So if we can land on specific things, that would be useful.
Great. And if I say that back to you, Lee, are you saying you're more comfortable in the process, so you like the building of the procedure, and then there's the actual doing of the procedure, which is something different?
Correct. So that's what I'm learning about myself, that I get more, I don't want to say pleasure, but it's more fulfilling for me to build a machine than it is to build a widget.
Yes. Back to Stone's reference of the big strategic picture. Yeah.
Right.
Okay, great. Well then, Stone, let me bounce back to you here. Give me a sense of how a conversation or two has already gone, because you've been in this now for over 30 days. You've talked to some potential studio partners. Just give me a tiny snippet into how that world has gone.
So the conversations have been very friendly and have produced what I would characterize as a stronger relationship than most people probably have in a Zoom conversation or something like that, but they haven't landed clearly on the next steps that are going to either kind of ease them out of the pipeline and on a different relationship path, or down to the next step. And so that's why I feel so energized now, is because that's what we were working on the last couple of sessions, is what can we do to remove. I envisioned it, and I think there's some truth to it, that there was some fear or some perceived risk around taking the next couple of steps and exploring this opportunity. And now I feel very well equipped to address all of that. So it's almost like if you go to your batting coach in baseball, shows you a few tips off to the side. Now you want to get back out there to batting practice and take some swings, right?
Okay. And you're the batter in this scenario?
Correct. Right.
Gotcha. All right, great. Lee? Excuse me. Yeah, Lee.
Yeah, that's the same thing. I mean, I'm the two roles that Stone and I play in this. Stone is more dealing with the sales and actually implementing some of the things that we're talking about, and I'm more kind of working on the strategy and vision. That's been our roles historically, but I'm trying to do more things tactically that give him more at-bats.
Okay, gotcha. So you aren't having the conversations with the potential partners, Lee?
No.
Okay, gotcha.
I mean, I'm having them
at some point, in some level, but
right. But he's in charge of sales.
He's making the ask.
Right, that's his role in this. Yes.
Okay, great. Stone, back to you. How many people have said no?
Well, they haven't said no, which is part of the advice that we got, is get them to say no. There's been a lot of the, maybe and exploring it and that kind of thing. But in so far, no one has said a definitive yes in the last 35, 45 days, I guess I would say.
Or a definitive no.
Or a definitive no, for sure.
Right. Yeah. I heard in I think it was in the call with Tricia, what you said, Lee. It was quite profound. You said, we need to go out and get some no's. Because then when you have some no's, the yeses follow. And there's some, magical number rule about that, that rule of numbers. But you haven't gotten any no's yet. So what do you think about that, Stone?
That's one of those tips that the batting coach showed me that I want to go try out. I just want
Okay,
I want more of them.
Okay, great. Great, great. Okay, now let me ask this. When you when y when you all decided to do this endeavor, maybe you percolated on it for a little bit or maybe you had several questions about it and wonderings, and then at some point you talked to Trisha and said, "Hey, let's do this, quote, experiment." What would you say, Lee, made this time now the ideal time to do this? Because, you're doing something very distinct than what you've done before. So why now?
Um, Part of the now is that we're just getting older, and we've been doing this a long time, and we've been frustrated with where we're at for a long time,
Okay.
and we just want to try more and more things faster in order to see what moves the needle.
Mhm.
And, I've always been intrigued by this kind of, publicly sharing what people are doing
Huh.
as a way, number 1, to keep doing things, and also, um, by sharing it, we create content every day, so why not use what we're going through as the content that we're creating? So that resonated with me. We don't have a problem sharing. Stone and I believe in generosity as part of our kind of value system, so being transparent and authentic is nothing new to us. That's what we try to be all the time.
Mhm.
So that wasn't kind of a fear of giving away anything or
Mhm.
sharing as some sort of fear-based issue. So we were comfortable with that. And we feel coaches are one of our kind of avatars for successful partners. So explaining what we're doing to coaches directly by being coached, and I'm assuming a lot of the listeners are either coaches or coaching clients, so we thought that that made sense. So again, I don't want to keep putting on my strategy hat, but strategically it made sense in a lot of different ways.
Huh.
And since we were working so closely with Trisha, who is obviously an experienced coach, that all kind of made sense. So this. It just made sense at the time to explore doing this in a way that aligned with, multiple, constituents' values and objectives and outcomes they desired. So, to me, it was like kind of a win-win-win all the way around.
Okay. Okay. Timing just happened to be right. Perfect storm. Right. Uh, Stone, how about for you? Why now?
Well, yeah, I would echo what he said about racing the clock. I feel that way a little bit. And I guess that kind of dovetails into our legacy, my legacy, but also just on a day to day. We've interviewed a lot of coaches over the years. We have relationships with a lot of coaches. We have coaches who are clients, and a few of our studio partners are coaches. But I can tell you, all of that for me validates the need has not faded at all. The value of what we can deliver, coaches, consultants, fractional execs, if anything, it's grown. We've gotten better at it, but and the need, I think, continues to grow. So I, I, I feel like I have every confidence in the world that going through this process is going to help us get better and better at helping more people faster. And the safety net, or the other thing that I keep in mind is, if for whatever reason this blew up, it didn't work, Lee and I said, forget it, it's too much work and we already got enough money, and let's just, have our little lifestyle business. Uh, just doing what we're doing,
Mhm.
and capturing it and being willing to share it. Just people listening into this series, I think they're going to benefit from that. So I guess I'm just saying the same thing, maybe with some different words. I think everybody in this equation wins to some degree, regardless of how it actually unfolds over time.
Yeah, very, very well said on both of your accounts. And you bring up something that uh, it's been on my mind ever since Trisha asked me about doing this and invited me to this very unique, wonderful opportunity. I was on a plane and listened to the first call, with Trisha. And I'm going to be very candid with you here, both. Not like I wouldn't be, or I need to preface that, but there's I have two hats in this conversation. So let's just call a spade, okay? Y'all willing to have a conversation where we're just going to call a spade a spade?
Absolutely.
Okay, good. I have two hats in this experiment here. Obviously, one is I'm coaching you, and I'm also prospect. Am I not?
Yes, I think so.
You think so, or I am?
You am.
Yeah, I am. So what I'd like to do in the next part of this call, and Stone, you and I have talked a couple of times, and I kind of get straight to it, It's like, let's call a spade a spade.
Mhm.
Let's be direct. Let's not beat around the bush, right?
Right.
So what I want to share with you is that when I first listened, I said to myself something about, wow, would I be a studio partner? Because I thought, well, I'm a candidate. I mean, right off the bat, I'm a candidate. Would I do this? I wonder if I would do this and what would it take? And I thought that. And Lee, to your point, well, both of you, to both your points, as I've been listening and getting to know you, I've crossed a bridge and I have just really taken to the two of you. You're so authentic and so genuine. And you really do have a love and passion for making our community better. And as I kept listening, I kept getting more connected to you. And I kept getting validated that there are people like you out there who are people like me. And I go, well, I wasn't expecting this. Wait a second. This is really interesting. I have to share it with these guys. Because in the calls where you were talking a lot, in a good way, both of you talking, I go, "Oh, yeah, that really that's pretty genuine. Listen to Lee. Gosh, he really does. He has a love for people, and gosh, Stone is just so hungry to put his arms around everyone and just hug the whole community." And I just got as I was listening to all the audio, I mean, I was just like, "Where's the next one? I gotta listen to these guys some more because 'cause I'm just really engaged, and I love this." And I go, "Well, wait a second. Now I'm a better prospect." You know? And so I just couldn't get it off my mind and off my heart to share that with you because to your points is as I've been getting to know you and your story, I've been seeing more of my values in you, and it makes me want to participate with you. That's somehow, I mean, base level is this call. But man, I have just really, really found you intriguing and what you're doing, just a little gold mine. Not little, but a gold mine. And the gold mine is the two of you. And there
Well,
are more of
thank
you
you
out
so
there.
much for sharing that with us. And I think that, and goes to the heart of maybe why we were open to doing an experiment like this. We've we have a lot of skills. One of which we don't have is we are not great at bringing strangers into the community like somebody like you. I know in your past that you have built community and you did
Yes.
that wonderful that project that you were working on for many years, with around running and nonprofits and helping grow a big community.
Yes.
That we don't have that skill. Stone is more of an extrovert than I am, and I am not an extrovert at all. So being around people and doing like one of the first things we talked about when we joined forces, Stone and I, Stone's like, I can't wait to do a retreat with everybody. all of the partners. And that was like early on, that was something important to him. For me, that wouldn't have even occurred to me. Like I don't think in terms of let's get 100 people together
Sure.
in person. But that's for him that works perfectly. But we have lacked a person that's a true community organizer and a community builder. And I think that's a hole in our swing because I believe we do have something compelling and it worthwhile and it would work in communities all over the country, but we're lacking somebody on the team that is good at bringing lots of disparate people from all over into one place, which in your past was something that you were good at and that you were able to achieve. So thank you for sharing what you're sharing. And I'm glad that what we're doing and saying is resonating with you. And we just haven't been able to get the escape velocity. And maybe it was because we weren't sharing our story enough publicly. And so this kind of validates the importance of doing this kind of work so that we are getting on the radar of people like you. And we need to find you and more people like you to raise their hand and say, hey, what about me? Can this work here? How do I get involved? That's what we're trying to get to, that escape velocity where we have people wanting to join us in this mission because we think the mission is so important to put people in communities to be the storytellers and to be the voice of business in those communities to help these small to mid-sized businesses get the word out. They don't, in today's media landscape, that's lacking.
Yes.
There's no one doing that from the sense of, I'm trying to help you get the word out. Everybody is doing it in a way that's kind of just appealing to anger and catastrophe and bad things, negative things, where we're trying to just be, hey, this people exist, they're doing good work, you should know about them. And that to me is more pure of heart and more positive and more beneficial to communities if more and more people would lean into that and then create this type of outlet for those stories to be told.
100%. 100%. Anything else on that, Lee?
That's all I got. Stone, anything?
No, well said, man.
Okay. Then Stone, I want to go back over to you because I want to do, we'll call it a practice with you, okay? Because
Yeah.
you said that you wanted to go out and get at, I'm not a baseball person, you want to go at bat more, right? You want to
Right.
swing a bit more. So, how would you like to talk to me about being a partner right now and see what you see out of that conversation?
So I'm learning. I really am learning and wanting to apply almost kind of the way you open this conversation. You know, you've expressed an interest in learning more. Tell me more about why or what it is that you're trying to accomplish, or what you would like to see differently in your business in the coming weeks and months and maybe years.
Yeah, great. Great. Thanks for teeing that up. And I'm gonna expand it out a little bit more, Stone.
Okay.
It goes past my business. See, my business it's an expression of me, but it's not me. See, it's what I was. This is my belief. This is what I say. This is my calling. Okay, this is why I'm here, is for people to discover their greatness. I really do believe I was put on the planet for that. Is I want people around me to elevate and to rise up and to get that they are extraordinary in their own right and they can find their self-expression, whatever that might look like. They have no barriers. And so my professional career has all been some kind of expression of that. It's looked different. I've had different roles, worked at different companies, but it's all really been in service of that, is having people rise up and get that they're great. And so to your question of what I see, right? Was that your question? What I see?
Yes, and you know, kind of the why you want to have this conversation and
Right.
yeah, what you're trying to accomplish.
Yeah. So as I was listening and getting to know the two of you, not even in person, Lee, We haven't been in person. We haven't been in a studio together. It's only been audio. I've been listening and getting to know the two of you. I get that we are like-minded, and this is what I mean. I have a real passion for people, and I want people to have a bullhorn, and I want people to be known, and I want people to experience contributing in the community. And I am certain that most of us are inhibited in that. See, so I am a community builder. In one of my past lives, I built lots and lots and lots of teams. And it was to give them an opportunity to shine. And you do that. That's what the two of you do. You give people an opportunity to shine one conversation at a time. A lot of ears might hear it at once, but you're only having one conversation at a time, ever. That's what we're all doing. And that's what interested me and is interesting. It is interesting, is of interest to me in staying in communication and partnership and collaboration with the two of you because we share the same values. Back at you, Stone.
Yeah, no, that's great. I'm glad we're having this back and forth. I feel like the balance of that conversation ought to continue to lean more into what you've been exploring. So I think I would ask, well, what kinds of strategies, tactics are
I'm
you?
gonna interrupt you, Stone.
Yeah.
I'm gonna interrupt you, Stone. Let's just have the conversation.
Okay. All right.
Not I would ask this or the next part would be like this.
Yeah. Okay.
Let's just have the conversation.
All right. So as you're getting more and more focused on achieving those ends, what kinds of approaches, strategies, tactics are you exploring, and what, if anything, have you started to see in what you've learned about us that's got your interest piqued?
Yeah. Biggest thing I've been taking action on is getting on stage. I'm submitting proposals for speaking engagements. I will go to organizations and I become the committee leader and that puts me on stage. And I've just been finding out in my later years, Lee, right? We're all getting older and wiser. I'm finding out in my later years, I don't have a whole lot of time here. And so what's the fastest way to reach a lot of people is to get in front of a lot of people. And so I've been going down this journey of get on stage so that I can talk to more people. Now, I could easily map that onto what you do. I don't know how many people are listening to this right now, but there's more than one. It's a way to amplify my voice. And that's what I'm interested in, is amplifying my voice because I do have a message that people want to hear.
Well, for what my opinion is worth, I think your instincts are right on track. I do think that teaming up with us might help you amplify your voice, but I think more foundationally, I think it'll give you more access to more people in a deeper relationship with them faster. Just tactically, for example, if you want more speaking engagements, maybe you could take a few pages out of our playbook, and instead of waiting to be chosen or applying to be chosen, if you kind of choose yourself and use the platform to build relationships with the people who book those speakers, build relationships with the
Sure.
yeah, and then sort of take that model of serving them first, building that relationship, and our experience has been then being invited to speak, being invited to run workshops, being invited to contribute to strategic conversations in their organization. That just seems to come a lot faster and a lot more organically. At least that's been our experience. So yeah, I think your instincts are on track with that.
Yeah, great. Now let me tell you this, because like I've said, I like to get straight to the point. Time is of essence, right?
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you why I wouldn't become a partner, okay?
Okay.
Because I've been thinking about this nonstop since I first got introduced, as I mentioned, is there's why to become a partner and then there's why not to. It looks like a lot of work. It looks that way. I don't know if it is or not. I don't know but I have a pretty full schedule already. And so for me to fit something else in that's foreign, yes, I'd have the playbook. It's a bit of a big bridge for me to cross. Now, I will say this because I do want to collaborate with the two of you. I mean, I'm hooked. I do. There's no other way for me to say it. I'm like, why would I ever let these gentlemen bounce out of my life? That's just ridiculous. So then I thought, well, we already have a Houston Business Radio X. We already have one here, and that's
Right.
Trisha, and she does a bang up job with it. I know you because I came on her show. She followed your playbook, I'm sure, and I will go to the ends of the earth with that for that woman. Then I thought, well, maybe there's something for me to do with her, but not like have my own show. Again, it's a bridge too far for me right now. Then I thought, well, what if I just funnel people to her? I have no problems doing that. I can just send all my people that I want, I want their voice to be heard. I'll just send them over to her. She's already doing the darn thing. And I thought, well, maybe she'll let me co-host one day or two. I don't know if we could have some fun with that. Maybe we'll do that. And that's about as far as I got. Okay. That's about as far as I got. Because if I start to think any further, then it becomes, Gabrielle, once you start in on a project, you go all in. Slow down. I'm one of those people. I will not take on a project unless I am absolutely ready to deliver on it 100%, if not exceed expectations. So I'm very particular about what I take on. So that's where I am, Stone.
Now, can I interject 1 second? You
Sure.
said something that is, I don't want to say it's of concern, but it's definitely an issue that we hear, is that this seems like an awful lot of work, and you're kind of self-selecting out just based on an assumption rather than having data to really prove or disprove whether that's true.
Yes. Yes.
Can you talk about what part of what you think we do or don't do is kind of a lot of work?
Sure. And again, as I've been listening and been hearing more of the particulars and the back end and all of that, I'm like, okay, they kind of take care of that. It still is not like baked in for me though. And this is what I mean. I think of, okay, having one more platform to log into. Believe it or not, even though I'm a tech person, I'm like, one more thing to handle, one more password, one more set of conversations to manage. Are they coming on the show? Are they prepped? What do they want to get out of this? And then I got to follow up with them. In full transparency, I have thousands of people in my contact list already. Thousands. And I'm already not following up with them to the degree I want to. So then I think, if I did a radio show, I just have more people to follow up with. Oh my gosh. At this point, I don't even want to go to networking meetings anymore. Or I'll only go if clients invite me, but I'm like, I can't take on one more business card. Can't do it. Now, it sounds, I sound dramatic about it and there could be.
But you want the right people, right? Like
Yes.
it's not like you don't want any people. You want
Yes.
the right people and
Yes.
less of the wrong people.
Yes. Yes. And to your question, it's like, what is it that it seems hard? At face value. But again, I'm getting to know you more. I will give you that. But it's still there. It's like, it's as if I have a sense that I could get the right people in the room. I have a sense that we could build a relationship. And I'm still thinking, but how much work is it really going to take? I just am there. How many people are really going to have to come on the show? And then I think, well, if I'm looking at it from a let me build my business perspective, but if I look at it from I really do genuinely just want people to have a platform to share themselves, because that would be the reason I do it. I ought to be quite honest with you. yes, business on the other side of it. Absolutely. I want to feed my family. But to take on something of this level that can make this kind of difference and this kind of impact, I've done it before. I've done it before, to your point, Lee. In my past life, I've built lots of teams. I pulled lots of people together. And it takes something. And I'm telling you right now, this could be all right, well, Gabrielle, if you really are serious about making a difference and you really are serious about lifting people up, put your money where your mouth is, kind of thing. And then I go, yeah, I would do that first by just sending people to Trisha. And that's just where my head is right now. But I'm glad you're asking me the questions, Lee, because those questions need to be asked, because I'm confident I'm not the only person who feels this way. I can't be.
Well, this is really helpful to me because I guess it didn't even get on my radar that people would be considering it to be a lot of work. They don't know what I know about the system, but I could see me thinking that about any other thing that someone were bringing to me. But what it's reminding me of, now that I reflect on this, I think one of the things that I found incredibly attractive about teaming up with Lee 21 years ago, I don't think I have the work ethic that you do. Because what I saw in this is a way to get a lot more done with a lot less work. For example, you mentioned networking. If you see me at a networking event, somebody's writing me a check to be there. Other than this one little thing I do here locally. And I will tell you this: if I had a Trisha in my market, I would lean into that too. So let me validate that first move. I appreciate that. Look, I have a tendency to feel like Business Radio X is going to solve world peace. So I look at everything through that lens. But my experience has been, and I think you'll find our other studio partners' experience has been, that they can build those relationships, genuine relationships, a lot faster, a lot easier. They get to choose themselves. They're not, scratching and clawing for a seat at the table or to be seen. They're in control of it all. So they get to choose who they want to be in relationship with. And the time investment, I mean, you get to choose what the time and energy investment is, but our experience has been the return on that time and energy investment is far greater, far quicker than at least the traditional approaches to that I'm aware of. And we can walk through any of the pages of that playbook or any of that process you want to walk through, but and just side note, just knowing that probably is something that people are thinking that really hadn't occurred to me. I don't know if it has to you or not, Lee.
Yeah, well, this is the thing. I think that some of what your concern is and some of what the reality of what we do is what we do every day by interviewing people is what coaches call discovery calls, but we call it an interview. And they might kind of land in the same place at the end of the day, but we just call them different things. So like an interview with one of our guests, especially if it's a targeted interview, and like say hypothetically you were like, I want more speaking engagements and I get those through let's say business organizations let me get it right from the horse's mouth. Where do you get your speaking opportunities? What type of groups do you ask you to speak typically?
Yeah, really great. Okay. We're going to take a turn, okay? Before I answer that question, because you guys have just given us gold here, both of you. You started to ask me a question, Lee, and that's key. You want to ask more questions. Now, I'm going to go back over to Stone. And Stone, this is real life here, right? This is a real life scenario here.
Right.
And Lee, you're listening in. Now, I want to go over two things. Now, Stone, before I do that, Lee, what did you get from listening to Stone talk to a prospect, me, about becoming a partner, what's one thing you heard from that?
Well, he bubbled up a concern of yours.
How's that?
Um, I think when he asked you about well, I think I don't know, did you share, like, why you wouldn't do it on your
Yes.
own, or was that something prompted by what he asked?
No, I shared. I said like, "Hey, I want to do this somehow, but I don't want to. It's too much work, and I just send everyone in Trisha or co-host with her."
Right, so I mean, as a fly on the wall, it's
Yes.
easy for me to see opportunities maybe he isn't
Yes.
seeing when he's kinda doing what he's doing because
Yeah.
he's focused in on the conversation and I'm just listening. So, to me, that was an issue that had to be expounded upon, and
Yes.
that's why I brought it up to ask, what you thought about it, and then I asked again for you to tell me how your process works so then I can see if there's a place for our system to
Yes.
kind of work into your existing kind of way of doing what you're doing currently.
Yeah. Beautifully. You asked what it is like for me now, so that you could have a conversation with me, Lee, to see what the mapping is of how you can make a difference with what I'm dealing with. That's what you just. That's like I'll summarize it that way. Does that sound on target?
Yeah,
Okay. Now, your being a fly on the wall is invaluable, Lee. It's invaluable for Stone. Because now I'm going to just go straight for the jugular here with you, Stone, okay?
Mhm.
When I said, uh, when I said, God, it just looks like so much work. A question you could have asked was, Lee, what would you have asked? When I said, man, it just looks like so much work.
like,
What
I
would
would ask you, what do you think that entails? Like, I'd ask you something about what your thinking work is.
yeah. And here's another one. Here's another possible question for you to ask. What would you need me to show you to demonstrate how much work it is? What do you need me to show you? Because I already have, I'm being fully transparent with you. I already had in my head, I wanted to ask you, Stone, well, can you just have me talk to one of your people and just let them tell me candidly how much time they spend on this sucker? I wanted to like ask you for that. And so, absent asking me questions, you're going to give me information that might not apply. Now, I'm going to say it this way, you're selling your product. Well, what I found is this, and you can see this, and then when you do this, it'll be the, but see that's giving me information that I'm not necessarily ready to hear. Because what I wanted to hear at that moment was, what amount of time do people actually spend on this? And see, Lee, if you're a fly on the wall, you might be able to hear that. Now, I'm not suggesting that you're being every sales call together, and I'm calling
Right.
them sales calls, just sales calls to make it, simple. But you record all your conversations.
We certainly can, yeah. We have the ability to do that.
Yes.
Right.
Which means then what?
That we can listen to it and see where opportunities are there that maybe, were kinda ignored in the moment.
Yeah. And to put it more succinctly, listen for the missed opportunities so that you don't what?
Miss opportunities.
Exactly. It was such a leading question. It's such a not coaching thing to do. Okay. See, you two together are a super team. Lee has got the listening. Lee, you listen. I've been listening on these calls to how you listen, and you listen. And Stone, you are The Energizer Man. People want to be around you. People want to be your friend. I want to be your friend. I want to work with you. I want to be a part of what you're doing because you're energetic and you just you suck me in. Now, what are ways the two of you in real time, not conceptually, not on a process diagram, in real time can maximize your superpowers? Which y'all got?
We could do more of these episodes.
Yes. In terms of what? What specifically?
I mean, it's communicating with people by sharing what our view of things and kind of leveraging our individual superpowers
Yes.
simultaneously.
Yes. And then what? We're just spitballing here. I'm not looking for a specific answer. I'm getting you to think.
Well, I mean, ultimately, we have to get more people to be studio partners. That's where the rubber hits the road. I mean, we can do this all day long, and we can get people fired up and express interest, and say that's intriguing or that's interesting or I wish that I could do that. But if they're not kind of joining the team, then this is all kind of performance art.
Right. And what has people join the team?
They have to believe that this is real and that it's doable and it's going to benefit them.
What else? What actually has people say, I want to and will be on the team? What actually has that happen?
I mean, they have to believe that what we're saying is true.
Keep going. Now I am looking for a specific answer. It's totally leading.
Oh, well, Stone, help me out here, because that's to me what I think is lacking. They're not believing what we're saying.
I already believe.
Well, you're not believing enough to throw your credit card across the table.
Right. So what's actually going to have me be a partner?
We have to say,
just said it. You just said it.
Gabrielle, do you want to be a partner?
Thank you. That's what it takes. You ask me if I want to do it or not. And you get my credit card. Lee. That's the only thing. I promise you. That's the only ultimate.
So your hypothesis is that we're not asking directly, do you want to be a partner?
Yeah, and why do you think what has? Yes, that is my hypothesis. And what proof do I have of that?
Well, so far in this conversation, no one has asked you that. And Stone, to her point, for you, a lot of what your background and belief is that you want people to want to be a partner enough that they ask.
Thank you. Thank you.
Stone, what's your take?
No, I think that's absolutely accurate, and this is really challenging my thinking. I want to be available to address their concerns, their fears, their risks, but this is kind of encouraging me to go ahead and ask, and even in the asking, I mean, even from the old days of learning how to trial close, just if they say no, or I don't know, or you've given me something to think about, at least I kind of know where I am in the conversation, and then
Yes.
I can ask more. More questions of it, but no, you're absolutely right, Lee. I probably play it out too long and wait for it to organically develop it, and for them to throw the credit card across the table before even before I ask.
Yeah, and can I add something to that? Or Lee, did you have something else you wanted to say?
Well, I mean, in your estimation, Gabrielle, do you think that has to be that direct, or is it possible to build systems where people are like, hey, where you've been all my life, how do I sign up? Because that's a different type of positioning. And I know that in Stone's heart of hearts, that's what he prefers. He prefers to build something so attractive that people want to participate
Yeah.
rather than having to say, do you want to buy this?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, how's that gone so far?
It's not going well.
Not going well.
You already have something beautiful that people would love to participate in. They just don't know about it. The only reason I know about it to the extent that I do is because I have spent close to 12 hours studying the two of you. And for what purpose? So I could coach you for 55 minutes. Other people, I could be wrong, but I don't think other people are going to make that kind of leap.
Right.
Now, I'm going to go back, Lee, to the word you used, which is great, which is hypothesis. So you said my hypothesis is that that y'all aren't asking for the credit card. Is that what you said, or some version
No,
of
we're
that?
not asking, like, do you want to do this?
Yeah.
Yes or no.
Yeah, and then I said, well, what evidence do you think I have of that? And then you said whatever you said. Here's the evidence. You don't have any no's. If you two came to this call and Stone, you said, yeah, I've been out there, I've been hustling, I've been talking, and I've gotten 17 no's. I would know that you are asking for, will you please give me your credit card, or some version of that.
Right. Right.
But you didn't. What do you now see in that, Stone?
I think I need to ask more often, earlier, and then, and even in the course of that conversation, truly, my experience has been even when they say no or I'm not sure, that doesn't necessarily end the conversation. It just
Nope.
allows us to go a little bit deeper.
Nope.
Also, I can see, framing up some of the conversation where I go ahead and ask them, not just, what makes you want to explore this, but, why wouldn't you do this? What are some things that would
Beautiful.
hold you back from doing? Go ahead and just hit it right up front. Hit it
Beautiful.
on the nose.
Beautiful. Now, can I give you another one? Because again, I'm kind of teetering on two roles here. Okay.
Yeah.
How about this? You jump on a call with someone and you say, hey, look, I'm going to be so bold as to tell you how I want this conversation to end. It's going to end with my asking you to be a studio partner. But before we get to that, let's talk about you.
Right.
And then now what have you done? If you did that.
Well, you set the expectation, and it's perfectly appropriate that I'm going to ask him that question at some point.
Yeah. And then you better ask it.
Right.
Because you told them you would. And they're waiting to answer it. And most likely, how they're in that call is thinking about how they're going to say no. And then they bounce into thinking about, well, I could say yes. And then they bounce into, no, but I'm going to have to tell him no because it's too expensive, blah, 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 blah. And they're ruminating on all that stuff, which you want them to do.
Yeah,
See,
I really do. And they don't want to tell me no because I am kind of a likable guy. They don't want to. Yeah.
Sure. And most often, sometimes, this is what I found in my coaching practice. A lot of times people will tell me no, or I want to do it later because they are just not ready to be their big selves quite yet. You can laugh at that. I say it a little chuckingly sometimes as well, but that's true. Because then when they eventually do become a partner or a coaching client of mine, they say something to that effect. Yeah, I just wasn't ready. I just wasn't ready to actually step out and start that business or sell that business or get acquired or what. Like and okay. Well, when you're ready for that result that you say you want, you come back and talk to me because I'll be here.
Right.
See, if I don't ask them, hey, you want to come and do this? Are you in? I won't know. And it takes muscle building, Stone, but you got it. You've been in sales before.
Yeah.
But it does take asking. Okay, Lee, you've been nice quiet over there, listening to every word. Where are you?
I'm on board. I mean,
With what?
I want more no's,
Oh,
100%.
there you go. Okay. So then Lee, what are you gonna do to make sure y'all get more no's?
I'm going to remind Stone that he has to ask more often.
Yeah, very good. Yeah, very good. Stone, what are you hearing? What are you taking away from this?
I'm taking away from this a commitment to ask early and often.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, great. And you know what happens the more you do that?
Right.
What happens?
You're gonna get your no's, but some of them are gonna say yes.
Yeah, and you're gonna get more comfortable with it, Stone.
Right.
And then what's eventually gonna happen?
We're gonna get more studio partners.
Which then has what happen?
Going back to that legacy we're trying to build and meeting that need that we're seeing, that wide open void.
Yeah, thank you. So if you really wanna build that legacy, start asking.
Yeah.
What about you, Gabrielle? You ready to build the legacy with us?
I am, and it doesn't look like this right now, being a studio partner. Not yet. I need more. I
Or
need
what?
to learn more. I need to learn, what it's really gonna take. I do, because get when I take on projects, I go all in, and I gotta know what I'm going all in for. And like
So
I
would
said,
it be helpful if we got a studio partner or you communicated with a studio partner and understood what a day or a week looks like?
yeah, it would, and I'd love for that studio partner to be Trisha. I really do. I can see doing something with Trisha. I made up like, oh, first thing I just send her people and then maybe do a co-host if she's even willing to do that. I mean, who knows if she would want to do that. I can see kind of getting to know the system and the process and like finding out where I fit. And most important, Stone and Lee, seeing and feeling and experiencing what this does. I start to see and feel and experience my people rising up. You give me a few of those, I'm good. I gotta
Well,
see it though. I gotta feel it.
right. Well, you felt it from a guest standpoint because you went through it
Yes.
with, so that's what a guest experience feels like. So you've
Yes.
experienced that, but you haven't experienced it from a, I invite somebody on, I ask, I interview them and I share their content and you get the feedback from them individually.
Yeah. Yeah. I haven't experienced that yet. That would be a next step for me. Like, that would be part of, like, the proof in the pudding.
Right.
That I'm not going to go into something that I am not clear about. I just said
Right. No, you
so many
shouldn't. I mean,
times,
that there's no reason to do it, and everything's set up in a way that that's something that's a
right?
dream that can come true. So
Yeah.
I'm sure we'll be able to make that happen.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, now I'm gonna give you 2 an extra credit question, okay? I'm gonna give you 2 an extra credit question to answer how you wanna answer. What are you noticing about how I am with this opportunity? What are you noticing? Like, how am I about this opportunity? Just give me, I'm not, again, say whatever you want, but how am I about it? How am I being about it?
I mean, you're intrigued. Uh,
100%. How
uh,
else?
And at the same time, skeptical or just unanswered questions about how this
Yes.
fits into the rest of your world.
Yes. Very good. Lee, you hear that man, his listening. It
right.
shifted, Lee. His listening shifted. He heard something that I never said. He could hear my skepticism. Stone, you do more listening like that, no one's going to be able to tell you no.
Good.
Because if you hear my skepticism, then what can you do?
I can find ways to remove it or at least lessen it a great deal.
There you go. You can work with me as a partner, as a collaborator, as someone who cares for me to get me over a bridge that you know is a pretty awesome bridge to get over. Aren't you clear about that, Stone?
Yes, I think so.
Yeah, then help me out.
Well, that's what I was just thinking, Lee, we were talking about, hey, we can make that happen for you. Can't we in our systems make it pretty easy for her, even at this point where she's not actually a studio partner, to reach out to some people she really wants to build relationships with or rekindle relationships with, use our stuff and invite them to be on like high velocity radio or something. And in this case, maybe at this point, we're not positioning her to do the interview, but she
Sure.
could certainly have a pre-call with them to help them get ready for the interview.
Now you're talking. Now you're talking. That's
Yeah, I
great.
mean so something we've been playing around with, and tell me your opinion on this, if you would go along with this. If during the call, if Stone said, "Hey, I'm going to put into the chat, here's a note you can send right now to some people on your LinkedIn to see if they'd be even open to doing with you."
Yeah. Yeah. What's your question if I would do that?
Right. So if we're having this conversation, if Stone popped in the chat, here, send this note to 5 people on LinkedIn right now.
Yeah.
And then you'd see for yourself in a day or two when people say, "Yeah, I'm in. What do I have to do?"
Yeah, I would. Yeah, I would totally do that. And I heard that on your call with Trisha, and I was like, right on. That is such a smart idea. Wow, that is so smart. And quite frankly, to be quite candid with you, I was waiting for the one of you to ask me to do that right now. Because as soon as I say, I got to see it work, I want to feel it, I want to touch it, I want to be able to like experience it, and I want my people to rise up. I was waiting for one of you to say, well, here, open up your LinkedIn. Here's the message. Put it in now, Gabrielle. You're so curious about this. Let us give you something right now. But see, there's something about y'all won't, there's something about that there's just something about that hasn't clicked yet. Because I am really interested.
It's so funny because you're saying you're really interested, and I'm hearing at some points you say that, but at other points I hear you say, "I'm not ready to pull the trigger."
Absolutely.
So you're obviously
both.
it's not you're both, and you're not either or. You're and. It's not
Uh-huh.
or.
I am.
And for us, both Stone and I don't know why, but we're very sensitive to the hesitation part, and that's the part we're acting on, not the enthusiastic part.
Okay.
And that's an area, Stone, I think that we have to get better at. We have to err on the side of, if they're both enthusiastic and skeptical, we have to lean into the enthusiastic side, and that if we do that, then that'll probably alleviate some of the skepticism.
Beautiful. Yeah, it is an and. It's both. It's both. And the enthusiastic part of me is, man, if I can get people in my community to have a bullhorn and have people just know that they freaking exist and have some people love on them and, have my community build that way, God, that's just great. And then I'm like, what do I have to do?
Right. In your head, it seems like that sounds good, but it seems impossible. And then we have a tactic that is simple that, like, Stone could pop in a note right now into the chat, and then you would have a note you could send right now to 5 people, and you would know in a day or so if this works or not. And here's the note. Stone just
See there,
popped it
look
in
what
the
Stone did.
See,
Thank you.
he took action.
Oh, thank you. I love you guys. I'm like, help me out.
I told you it was a dream that could come true. So now you have to take action and actually send that to 5 people. and then we'll all know in the day or two if this works or not.
All right, let me read this thing. I'm partnering with to spotlight business in our area. I'd love to feature on an upcoming episode. It's simple, no pitch, no cost, just great existing relation. Oh, okay. I'm more existing. I'm sponsoring a business radio X show. I'm sponsoring a business radio X show? That makes me sound important. I like that. Okay, just later. And you immediately came to mind as someone I'd like to spotlight. Yeah. I'll send this right now. I don't know who I'm going to send it to, but I'm going to open up my LinkedIn.
Right. If you send that to 5 people, see how many people at least say, hey, tell me more. And again, from a coach, just put on we're asking you to put on the media hat, which is now I'm the media. So now I have to find guests for my show, right? Because I'm the media. That's what the media does.
Yeah.
And then if you look at it also through, again, an and, not an or, and I'm also a coach, who do I want to meet and who would benefit from this? And whether that's an existing client or a prospective client, when they get the frame of, hey, I'm hosting this show and I thought of you, their sales radar isn't on. I get to tell my story, radar's on, and someone's giving me a gift. And then, so now your positioning's different. A lot of things change when you're the media and the coach.
Yes.
And that's what our offer is. When you're the media has some benefits, and this is one of them. You get to send notes like this rather than, hey, I'm a coach. Would you want to be coached?
Yeah. Wonderful. I love everything you just said. Now, can I give you some feedback on that, Lee?
Please.
Okay. When I said, oh, yeah, sponsoring, that makes me feel important. Oh my God, yes, I'll do this. You kept talking. What's something else? What's another kind of response you could have to that enthusiastic, like, oh, look at what these guys just did for me. What is another possible next step for either of you to take after I react that way?
So there's one that has to do with it, maybe asking a question about that and diving into that. But one immediate for me is I think I'm going to rewrite the first one so that it also just says you're sponsoring, because that really seemed to.
Yeah, that's totally.
Right.
But now I'm your prospect, and your prospect just says, "Oh my God, this is so great! Oh, wonderful! What's one possible next step for either of you to take after I react that way? Another possible next step."
I mean, I don't have an answer, but I do have a question. What about the word sponsoring got you so excited?
Makes me feel important.
So by being a sponsor, you feel important.
Anytime I'm sponsoring something, it makes me look like I'm, out in the community, putting my money where my mouth is and being a part of something bigger than I am. Because if I'm ever sponsoring something, it's something that I'm not in. I'm now putting my money and logo and name on it because now I'm going to be part of that community. That's what sponsorship really is. So it's like, oh, wow, she's sponsoring a radio show? Wow, that's pretty cool. And she, out of all the things she could sponsor, she's sponsoring a radio show. And then out of all the people she could invite on the show, she's inviting me. Oh, and it's Gabrielle? Because they already know and love me. I'm only going to people who don't love me. I mean, love me in a, colleague kind of way.
Yeah, and what you'll discover and what might be worth having a conversation about right there in the moment, or after some positive experience actually doing this, you're going to find that people that never heard of you are also going to want to do it.
Yeah. Okay. Lee, did I answer your question about, thank you, Stone. Lee, did I answer your question about sponsoring?
Yeah. I mean, it's funny because, we use the word a lot, and then you probably don't use the word a lot.
No,
it has a different semantic weight to you than to us, and I think
completely.
that we're seeing it differently than you're seeing it, and I think we're
100%.
underestimating it, and you're
Totally, totally, totally. What is one possible next step y'all could have taken after I was jumping up and down in my chair? So excited about this opportunity.
I don't have the answer.
Great. You want me to tell you?
Please.
Yes.
Stop talking and let me send the messages. Because I got the message, got excited, opened up my LinkedIn, started to go through the list, and then Lee, you were still talking to me, so I stopped, and then I started listening to you. And the messages still have not gone out because you've not given me an opportunity to do it.
See, Stone, I told you that's why you have to be in charge of this.
No, I think we found plenty I can improve on too, but she's absolutely right. Yeah, I did have a mentor years ago. He used to say, once you make the sale, don't buy it back.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, so now I'm your prospect. How are you going to end this call?
Get those messages out. Let's circle back around. I want to hear how it goes.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Okay, you want another way to do it?
Yeah.
Okay. Gabrielle, I know you got to go, and I know you want to get those messages out. When can you send them out? And let me tell you, or when are you going to send them out? I know you're excited about this. When are you sending them out? And I'll say, today. Great. But I got to say today. You leave it open-ended, Stone, I'm going to go convince myself not to do it after I go get a cup of coffee.
All right. Okay.
So when are you sending them out?
Thank you, Lee. Yes. Yes. I'm sending them out today before 3 p.m.
All right.
And
at 3:01, we're going to call you.
No, you don't even have to do that. Here's what I like to do. This is what I do with my coaching clients, okay? I go, hey, you want some extra credit? Hey, of course I want extra credit. Will you text me once you do that? Will you just let me know? Because I'm so excited for you. It's going to be fun hitting that button. You're going to be like nervous and it's going to be exciting at the same time. But how about you text me? Let me know. Let's close the loop. Okay. They always say okay.
All right. So text Stone.
Okay.
And we're excited.
How about if I email both of you?
That'd be great.
All right.
You're great. All right. Beautiful. Yay!
Well, Gabrielle, this has been a joy. Thank you so much for doing this. This has made my day.
In what way? In what way, Lee? What makes you say that?
Because I feel like we have a next step.
Which is?
Actionable.
We will ask for more sales more often, and the next coach that comes on can ask us about that, and we will have a number, not a, yeah, we should do that.
Beautiful. Oh, that's great. I love it. So definitive. A lot of power in that, Lee. Thank you.
Let our listeners know how they can connect with you if they'd like to have a conversation with you at some point.
You bet. Great way is to find me on LinkedIn. I'm the only Gabrielle Baumeyer there. And if somehow the connection request doesn't come in, just book a call with me on my website. It's baumeyercoaching.com, BAUMEYER coaching.com. There's a book a call button. It's really simple. I want to talk to you. And you should definitely book a call if you're thinking I shouldn't book a call. So I look forward to hearing from you.
Thank you so much, Gabrielle. We'll be talking again soon, I'm sure. This has been an absolute delight and incredibly helpful.
Great. Likewise. I'm so glad to have been with you. Thanks.
All righty. Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening to Scaling in Public, the next Business Radio X 100 Markets. Are you ready to enjoy a steady stream of discovery calls and finally stop being a best-kept secret? It's time to step out of the shadows and watch your coaching business grow. Let's fill your calendar. 10 discovery calls in a month, guaranteed. Go to brxhq.com to download the free Business Radio X playbook.